In the heart of West Africa lies a land once known as Upper Volta, a land of warriors, revolutionaries, and uprisings. A country that has stood at the crossroads of empire, colonialism, and resistance. This is the story of Burkina Faso, the land of upright people. Long before colonial borders were drawn, this land was home to powerful kingdoms, most notably the Morsi. By the 11th century, the Morsi people had built complex states like Ouagadougou, Yatenga, and Tenkadogo. They fought off invasions and established dynasties ruled by the revered Mogo Naba. Even then, a spirit of resistance was still alive in this land. But the 19th century brought a new kind of invader, the French. By 1896, they had conquered the Morsi kingdoms, incorporating the land into their vast West African empire. In 1919, the French formed the colony of Upper Volta, a patchwork of tribal lands forced into one political unit. Cotton farming was introduced, forced labor imposed, and the local rulers were sidelined. Then, in 1932, the colony was dissolved, only to be reinstated in 1947, thanks to pressure from Morsi elites. As the winds of independence swept Africa, Upper Volta gained sovereignty on August 5, 1960. Maurice Yamaogo became its first president. But independence did not mean freedom for all. Yamaogo banned opposition and ruled with an iron fist. His regime collapsed just after 6 years, toppled by the military in 1966. From 1966 to 1983, Burkina Faso, as it would later be known, was ruled by a carousel of military leaders. Lamizana, Lebo, Ouagadougou, each promised change, each failed to deliver.
Notre pays produit suffisamment de quoi nous nourrir. Nous pouvons dépasser même notre production, malheureusement. Par manque d'organisation, nous sommes encore obligés de tendre la main pour demander des aides alimentaires. Ces aides alimentaires qui nous bloquent, qui nous inspirent, qui installent dans nos esprits cette habitude, ces réflexes de mendiant, d'assister.
Then came a man who would forever change the nation's destiny, Captain Thomas Sankara. In 1983, Sankara led a bold revolution. He renamed the country Burkina Faso, land of upright people, and set out to free it from foreign dependency. He vaccinated millions, planted millions of trees, redistributed land, and championed women's rights. Sankara was a visionary and a threat to entrenched interests.
Il y en a qui demandent mais où se trouve l'impérialisme? L'impérialisme, regardez dans vos assiettes quand vous mangez les grains de riz, de maïs, de mil importés. C'est ça l'impérialisme, n'allez pas plus loin. Transformer en Afrique et consommer en Afrique. Produisons ce dont nous avons besoin et consommons ce que nous produisons au lieu d'importer. Le Burkina Faso est venu vous exposer ici la cotonnade produite au Burkina Faso, tissée au Burkina Faso, cousue au Burkina Faso pour habiller les Burkinabés. Ma délégation et moi-même, nous sommes habillés par nos tisserands, nos paysans. Il n'y a pas un seul fil qui vienne de l'Europe ou de l'Amérique. Je ne fais pas un défilé de mode, mais je voudrais simplement dire que nous devons accepter de vivre africain. C'est la seule façon de vivre libre et de vivre digne. Je vous remercie, Monsieur le Président. La patrie ou la mort, nous vaincrons.
On October 15, 1987, Thomas Sankara was assassinated. His close friend, Blaise Compaoré, seized power in a bloody coup. Compaoré ruled for 27 years. He opened the country to foreign investors, reversed many of Sankara's reforms, and crushed dissent.
D'avoir perdu un ami, bien sûr. Et un regret aussi, qu'à un moment de sa vie, il ait pensé à nous liquider. Dommage.
But in 2014, when he tried to change the constitution to stay in power, the people had had enough. A wave of protests swept through Ouagadougou. The parliament was set ablaze and Traore fled the country. A civilian-led transition began, and in 2015, Burkina Faso held its most peaceful democratic election. Roch Marc Christian Traore became president. For a moment, hope returned. But in the shadows, a new threat emerged. Armed jihadist groups crossed from Mali into Burkina Faso. Attacks increased. Villages were burned, soldiers and civilians were slaughtered. By 2021, nearly 2 million Burkinabe were displaced. The military grew restless, the people desperate. In January 2022, Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Sandaogo Damiba led a coup, blaming the government for failing to stop the violence. But he too failed to bring peace. Then in September 2022, a new figure emerged. Young, bold and determined, Captain Ibrahim Traore. At just 34 years old, he overthrew Damiba, citing betrayal and incompetence. Born in 1988, Mbondoki was a decorated soldier, trained in geology and known for his frontline combat. In a matter of hours, he became the youngest head of state in the world. Since taking power, Traore has redefined Burkina Faso's alliances. He expelled French troops, suspended French media, and warmed relationship with Russia, though denies any formal ties with the Wagner Group. His strategy focuses on empowering local defense militias known as VDPs. But critics warn of abuses, ethnic tensions, and growing authoritarianism. Traore has aligned with Mali and Niger to form a new Sahel alliance, cutting ties with ECOWAS. His supporters call it a bold step towards African sovereignty. But the insurgency remains strong, economic hardship continues, and questions about his long-term intentions linger. Is Ibrahim Traore Africa's next great revolutionary, or is Burkina Faso entering a new phase of uncertainty? What do you think? You let us know.